Hi, welcome to 2020 Tasty Treats with GourmetQuilter. I'm Susan Clare, GourmetQuilter, and we're having a whole lot of fun with some sampler blocks. We're making 20 different sampler blocks that we're setting into pairs eventually. At the moment we're making the blocks themselves with the surround. The surround that's on them is the lower part of the pear, and I've used two different greens because I thought it would make it just a little bit more interesting than one. You could use several different colours, they don't have to be green. They could all be the same colour. So we're up to block 18 out of our 20, which is just amazing. There is a pattern available through GourmetQuilter.com, and the pattern is a downloadable pattern. It's going to look something like this. It's going to have a picture of the block, it's going to have cutting information and directions on how to make things, and a link to the video. And I'm here to show you in the video each day as well. So for 20 days we're doing this. So we're actually up to day 18, so we're getting along really well. So this is going to be a little house with its little surround on it. So the pieces are quite small. These are just little blocks that we're making. So I've gone ahead and started doing the roof here. So what I had done was drawn a diagonal line on my white squares to make the corners, and I've just placed them onto the piece that I'm using as the roof, the rectangle, and I've stitched along the line that I've drawn. And so now I just need to trim those corners away because we don't need the corner there. And we can press that to make our roof. First we build the roof. So I'm going to press the seam in towards the colour, into the roof. Just be careful you don't stretch things when you press things on the diagonal like that. So there's our roof done already. We've already built a roof. How amazing is that? And then the house has a little narrow door and some walls, so I've actually just joined those together. It was just strips, so I'm just using my 1/4 inch seam allowance, and I've pressed the seams into the walls. So that's my door and my walls, but there is a top part of the wall that goes above the door, so that needs to go on next. So we'll go ahead and we'll put that on. I'm going to build this house together. And then we can press that again up into the wall. And then there's two little strips of the background fabric either side of the house because the roof hangs over. It's got little eaves. So we need to pop those on as well. So we might as well do all this and build our little house up. I do like little house blocks. The pieces are small, but they're all straight, so it isn't really hard to sew some of these little blocks together. Just have to take a little bit of care with our seam allowance because there's not a whole lot of room to move in the patches. On a 12-inch piece of fabric and you take away a tiny skerrick extra on the seam, it probably doesn't really matter a lot. It matters a little bit more when we do it this way. So I'm actually going to press that seam into the walls. This needs a little bit of encouragement sometimes. So there's the lower part of our house and there's our roof. So I might put the roof on and we'll have a good look at the house. So just have to watch where these seams are going. Make sure that they're staying flat where they've been pressed. There doesn't have to be any nestling this time because there's no seams meeting, which is another good thing. And I'm going to press that seam down now because of these diagonals coming down from the roof. It would be hard to press that seam to the roof. We don't need to, so that's okay. So there's one very cute little house block. And now it needs to have its surround so that it can sit in the pear. So I'll go ahead and pop the surrounds on and come back and show you when I'm just about done. So I'm just pressing the surround again. A lot of pressing of surrounds. Pressing is very important when you're making quilts, particularly small pieces like this. If you can keep them nice and flat as you go, it helps everything sit so much better than if you just kind of join it all together and then press it all at the end. So when I was pressing this to get all the seams so that everything's sitting nice and flat, because everything's quite small and condensed, you want things to be as flat as possible, particularly with the small pieces. So we'll put this up here. This is our block number 18. Woohoo, not many to go. A Pear sampler. So I will see you again with Pear sampler block number 19.